How's the team looking ahead of the games in summer?
Yeah, there's injury update is obviously Benno won't play tomorrow. Carol Shepherd has a knock. Carol also he's been sick and he's a bit of a knock, so possibly won't be involved. But we have a combination of a lot of the lads who played against Rovers last week. Young Ronald Hurley did very well. He'll play tomorrow. Pierce Phillips, Shane Daly Bus, they're all involved as well. So it's a great opportunity for our supporters to come and see some of those lads as well. But obviously, any of the guys who are on the bench, they'll all play, and we're at home. We're second in the table. Obviously, the league is gone, but we have our own goals to go for between now and the end of the season, and being at home, and we have a big crowd as well, where we need to play well, and obviously the guys are coming in as well want to stay to playing for the final.
Yeah, there's a confidence boost after the Bulls game.
Yeah, well, the confidence in the last 2 weeks has been good. Yeah. I keep saying that after the lads had a rough 3 or 4 weeks, they bounced back very well in the first semi-final, and kept going to the end and got their rewards. And obviously, last week in Shamrock Rovers, a lot of changes were made, but the guys gave a fantastic performance. Probably a defensive performance really, because we didn't have many chances, but at the same time Peter made 2 very good saves, but overall we defended really well. And Ronan Hurley made his debut, Shane Daly made his first start, Pierce Phillips made his first start, Cian Murphy made his first start, so he's in as well tomorrow. So it was great for those guys coming in, and of course then to win the semi-final at home, and particularly our first half performance was really outstanding. And despite the fact that we were under pressure in the last probably 20 minutes, defensively we were very strong, and it's another part of our game that we have always been very good at, but we'd slip there for a few weeks.
Is tomorrow night an opportunity to use some of the rest of the squad?
Well, I think there's a lot of guys who feel they should be in the team, and unfortunately Stephen Beattie is still out injured. Maybe another week, 10 days. But like I said, like Ronan Hurley, captain of our 19s, brilliant young guy coming through, did phenomenally well last week in Shamrock Rovers. Another opportunity to have a look at him, for our supporters, have a look at him. Young lad from Skull, West Cork. Great attitude, beautiful player. Physically has to develop a little bit, but really composed on the ball. So again, it's another opportunity to see how he played at this level.
Are they true that Joshua Hanlon is leaving or left the club now?
Rumours
swirling around.
Well, Josh is on leave, and that's been the way it's been for a number of weeks, and so he won't be involved tomorrow. Yeah.
Okay.
We missed Sean McLaughlin too, weren't you?
Sorry, Sean's with the international team. Yeah, it's.
Will he be back up for Derry?
For Derry, yeah, he's coming back in. I think on next Tuesday night back. Yeah, so. He great for Sean, great for him to get called up. Difficult for the lads in our league to get called in. A lot of the 21 team are unfortunately players that really are with English clubs, even though there's a number of players in our own league that are doing really well. So Sean got called up late the last there was a lot of injuries and got called in late. We hadn't been in the previous 5 matches, but at least he's got called into this, so hopefully he'll get some game time, because he's a good lad and he's worked hard, and he deserves that opportunity.
Support to Johnny, so to keep the winning mentality going now.
Absolutely.
Limerick, Derry, Bray, before the cup final, you want to win all 3 matches.
Absolutely. We set high standards here. Our standards this year have been phenomenal. We had a horrible month of September, but up to that we had been our record and our performance had been really good, and we were thereabouts in the league. But we had a bad month, and that's just the way it is. But you're absolutely right. We need to finish strong. Our standards are high in the club, and the last couple of weeks we've been back to basics, and we need a strong performance again for tomorrow. Starting with tomorrow, yeah.
Would Johnny Dunleavy be in the frame this week, or is it a bit too early for him?
Yeah, it's touch and go at this stage. Billy, they're saying possibly maybe the Bray game, very difficult. Last game of the season, particularly different for the likes of Stephen Beattie, because Stephen has been involved all year, and while he's had a number of injuries, he's still been involved in over 20 matches. Different for Johnny, because Johnny's been out for so long, so you know we just wait and see. You know, if we could get him back for the Bray game, it would be great. But at this stage, considering what he's been through, it's a long shot.
And the fans, they need to come out as well, don't they, tomorrow night, because I think it's 84,500 by my count anyway in 20 home games, which is phenomenal. Like,
Yeah.
And like, you know, I think the team deserve to be supported.
Yeah. You know, I keep saying, you know, we have a great crowd, fantastic following down here. You know, yes, we have a lot of floating supporters that come for certain games, but you know, the guys are back in the cup final, 4 cup final in a row, never before in the history club. Might never be in the history club again. You look around the league, who's ever done that? You know what I mean? Maybe Shamrock Rovers, obviously Dundalk. So you know, it's an opportunity for, you know, the fans to go and enjoy the game, and it'll be an entertaining game tomorrow, and hopefully there'll be goals, and plus the fact we have new players and the younger fellas, some of them getting their debut or getting their home debut, like Hurley and Murphy and these guys. That's great to see what they're like, and are they going to be good enough, and can they step up to the plate? So, you know, there's no reason why, you know, tomorrow night we won't have a strong crowd, and hopefully we will, and hopefully be a very entertaining game, because obviously Limerick have a lot of ex-Cork lads, and they've done really well against us this year, because obviously all the Cork lads have fought very hard as well. So from that point of view, there'll be a bit of bite in the match. So, but overall, I expect it to be a high quality game, and lots of action, lots of goal mode action. So yeah, certainly it would be great for everyone if the crowd is strong tomorrow night.
And I suppose the incentive is there for the, lack of a better word, squad fellas to go out and do their stuff and put the pressure on you to say, include me in the cup final.
Absolutely. You know, and that's the way it's been, and the boys have seen there's been changes in the team. It's who's on form, who's done well, and by no means the cup final team decided on. And you know, lads can see there's opportunities that they need to, when they get in the next couple of weeks, play very well. And I think that's what that's what I want them to do. And also there's our own targets. You know, we're second in the table, and you know, we're well ahead of third place, and over the last couple of years we've been, you know, we've had points totals, and we've been a good way ahead of the third team, and we're trying to finish on a high and try and finish with a very strong points total, and keep the gap, you know, big, and so we have our own individual targets, but at the same time, you know, I'd be very disappointed if the team weren't up for the game tomorrow, because it's a big opportunity for all the players.
Was there actually a target in mind at the start of the season, obviously to win the league, but was there target points in mind in your head at the start of the season to this is what we need to get to, or how far would you be off that schedule, would say? Well,
I suppose, you know, at the start of the year, I suppose, Martin, in my own head, and we'd go through with the manager, we'd be thinking of certain points totals where you'd be at, and you know, possibly, you know, we would have felt probably that if we were at this stage of the season had probably another 6 or 7 points on our total, we'd have been thereabouts. But this year wouldn't have happened. You know, the gap was just. But then again, you know, because ultimately, you know, we'd have had to probably beat Dundalk in 2 of the games, which we didn't do, and that was probably just swing around, you know. But we've our own, between now and the end of the season, target to hit, and it's a challenge to the lads. And you know, as I keep saying, they're in every day. They're there to entertain. They're there to score goals. And they're going to a cup final. There's a lot to play for. It's not sort of letting the season fizzle out. If anything, it's everyone has a buzz in their system, and a spring in their step at training to show that they want to get into the cup final. And not only the cup final team, there's the cup final panel. You know, because obviously fellas have come back from injuries. The young boy Hurley, we need to see how he gets on in the next couple of games. Came Murphy, because could they push themselves into the cup final panel? And so you know, there's a bit of pressure within the group, which is great for everyone.
And are you glad it's Dundalk like is it better Dundalk than it was a different team in the final from your point of view?
Like, the most important thing for us was for us to get there. Whoever is there is there. Of course, it's probably a game again, you know, that we'll go in as underdogs, we'll be written off. But that's happened for the last couple of years as well, you know. So, and we'll have to play our best on the day. and if we do that, we have a real chance of winning, and if we don't, we won't. So they're going for the double. So there's lots of intriguing stories around the game. We're going for 3 in a row, which has never been done in Cork's history. Unsure has it been done other than Rovers would have done it. Not sure of anyone else, So it's very there's lots of plots and subplots with the game, but most importantly is we're there, Martin, and we have to make sure that we can perform on the day. The
match of the night, actually, just the energy levels, particularly the first half, were like through the roof, but just given that the intensity of that first half performance, and just if Bohs had sneaked a goal, do you think he might have struggled at that stage just because he put so much effort in?
Yeah, it's a good question, and we had spoken in the pre-meeting before the game about the conditions, and obviously there was a really strong wind into the shed, and we decided that that if we were playing the shed first half, that we'd play off Graham and we'd use him because he's 6'4" and he's good in the air, and we'd play in their half. And I suppose if you wanted to script it, it was probably the perfect first half for us, other than I thought we could have got the third goal. But I thought possibly after the second goal for the 10 minutes before half time, we probably didn't press on enough, whereas I felt they were there for the third goal. And yes, we used a lot of high energy and that, and I suppose second half they get a wonder goal and certainly on the back foot. But I think the pleasing thing about it was that despite the fact that we did drop off and we weren't as sharp as we had been or as intense, we restricted them to long range shots and long throws, and they didn't have what you call opens up, and we defended to me like a Cork City team that even when we were under the cosh, fellas just stood up and were counted, and the white guys tracked their men, and everyone just dug in there, and that's the other part of the game. But look at, if they had equalised, would we have gone on to win? You don't know. But I would also say, Martin, we had a number of players that probably had knocks and weren't 100%, but it was a day where their experience and their know-how and their got us there, and also from that point of view, I would expect that certainly 3 of the players would be in a much better shape by the time the final comes.
Conor came on, didn't he? And he did a great job.
Oh yeah,
in front of the back four.
Well, Conor was, to be fair to Conor been phenomenal for us. Unlucky not to start the game. He's been a brilliant player, and but he just we decided a different way at the game, and he was unlucky not to start. But at the same time, Conor's a huge player for us, captain, massive player, and the minute he went in, to bring a player like him, and Garrod had been a little bit sick the day before, and he'd struggled a little bit with his groin, and to have Garrod coming off who had done so well, Conor coming in, Conor went straight in, just closed the doors and and that's we'd have only expected that. So but Conor's a man. He's a great guy, and it's so it's great for all these guys because they've been on the bench for the semi-final and they're going, we want to be in for the final. So that's great for us as the management. As
well as that, in a match like the other night, and we talk about them all the time here, with all due respect to the other defenders in the squad, but when you have someone like Benno, who's such a warrior on the pitch for a game like that, I think he really kind of comes to life really when the goal is tough,
Yeah, I suppose people say Benno's a warrior, but Benno's one of the most intelligent players we have. We have a lot of intelligent guys, but he's a real leader, know-how. I hear around the leagues that people say he can't do this, he can't do that, and he can't do this. But what he can do is he can defend, and he's always where the ball is when it comes into your box. And that's a sign of an absolute brilliant player. And he's been like that for us. But obviously, he's coming to a time in his career where his games are getting less and less. And but the 2 semi-final games, he was outstanding. And he's a huge presence on the team, and because they know he's an absolutely, truly wonderful player. Possibly go down as probably the best centre back in the club's history at some stage, but he still has a little little bit more playing to do yet, but you know, but it's around the ground here, around the training ground. It's that stuff that people don't see, and you know, I always say, you know, that's part of the management when you pick players and players come in and come out, or fellas get knocked. You know, it's easy when, you know, someone stand that's saying something. You don't see sometimes the impact people have around the ground and whatever. And he's one of those guys that has Cork City in his blood, and you know, that's you know, he plays that way, but he's a very intelligent player.
Could Alan be here again next year as a player?
Yeah, I think like everything else, man, a lot of guys will be here. Obviously there'll be certain guys that, you know, won't be here for different reasons, and you know, Alan would certainly be a guy that could be part of the plan next year. I suppose it's like me and him. We need to sit down, and he's in university at the moment. He's also qualified as one of the academy elite coaches as well. So he has opportunities going to business or going to football, and you know, I need to sit down with Alan, very close to the guy. But ultimately, at the end of the day, he has to look at himself and his body and see where that gets them. But certainly, it'll be a nicer conversation if he had a winner's medal around his neck. That's for sure.